Professor Cashin, thank you so much for joining me on AMplfied. In your book, you highlight the American residential caste system, which functions to, yes, keep poor people poor, but specifically to keep Black people poor. Can you explain that to us?
Yes, we have a system that intentionally overinvests and excludes an affluent white space and disinvests, contains, and frankly preys on people in high poverty Black space. The defining experience for Black Americans in this country is segregation. Our neighborhoods historically have been redlined. They continue to be redlined. Black Americans have about 8 cents of wealth for every dollar of wealth a white family has. And the only way to understand that, the persistence of racial inequality, is to understand residential caste. And it's animated by 3 anti-Black processes: segregation, hoarding, and surveillance.
Segregation, hoarding, and surveillance. Say more about that, because we've been talking quite a bit about housing segregation and redlining on this show. I want you to really school everybody on those 3.
Okay, so we're going to just talk about today, but I'll say the primary response to 6 million Black great migrants leaving the South to go north and west in search of opportunity and freedom was to contain them in their own neighborhoods and then redline those neighborhoods and cut them off from subsidies that have been rained down on white neighborhoods. Okay, fast forward today to today. You have racial steering by realtors, discrimination in mortgage lending. You can be just as qualified as a white person for a mortgage, but there's studies that show to this day, Black people are often discriminated against, particularly ones who live in Black neighborhoods, and given subprime loans that are frankly designed for you to fail, right? Then there's exclusionary zoning, where people wall out anybody who can't afford a very expensive house. And then, the government also encourages segregation and concentration of poverty. How school boundaries are drawn, frankly, out of a lot of avoidance of Blackness, right? The majority of Black kids in public school are in schools where more than half of their peers are poor. And what do in our apartheid schools? We disinvest in them. We give them the least experienced teachers, the least resources, right? So that's segregation, modern day segregation that Black Americans of all economic strata live with. But the people trapped in the hood suffer the most. You have to be superhuman to overcome the system set against you. And then the whole of society others and is afraid of you, right? You're presumed to be a thug rather than a citizen, right? Opportunity hoarding is just what I talked about, right? Even in Black-run cities, there tends to be an overinvestment. In Baltimore, for example, a recent study found that even in a Black-led city, they were spending 3 times as much, 4 times as much actually, in white neighborhoods as in Black neighborhoods. Excuse me. So that's hoarding, right? Keeping the best of resources for affluent white space. And frankly, everybody who's excluded, who can't afford to buy their way into these wealthy neighborhoods, subsidizes those neighborhoods. They use their essential dollars to pay for gasoline taxes, sales taxes, and high opportunity places get more than their fair share of investment, all right? And then we all know about surveillance, right? Black bodies are marked, particularly Black bodies in high opportunity places. In high poverty places, right? They live in a police state, right? Everybody's presumed to be a thug. Police can stop you for any reason, right? And then where Black bodies are found in places they're not expected to be, high opportunity spaces, a lot of Karens think nothing of calling the police on, frankly, just ordinary behavior, So all of this is a system of anti-Black oppression. And we'd like to believe, the mythology is that high opportunity living is earned and hood living is the deserved response to bad behavior. And nothing could be further from the truth. Systems are set against you, designed to make you fail. It's operating in exactly the way it's intended to be. And I got to say, what people often don't realize is high opportunity, affluent white space could not exist without the hood. You know, poverty-free spaces could not exist if we did not contain people elsewhere. And the often unspoken but thought idea is that those people do not deserve to live near me nor go to school with my children, right?
I want to talk about the word you just used, opportunity. Let's talk about opportunity, because thanks to Donald Trump, there are now zones called opportunity zones all throughout this country that are essentially communities that have very high poverty rates, that investors, developers, essentially real estate developers would get some incentive in the way that they're able to allocate, to raise money to invest in those communities to build their businesses or develop out properties, et cetera, et cetera. And you talk about opportunity zones really as a way for white people to get rich. So I'm really interested in you sharing your take on all of that.
Right. Under Donald Trump, the real estate developer president, they came up with this tax incentive where you would get to keep 100% of the capital gains of any investment in real estate. And it was supposed to bring investment to distressed neighborhoods, but they intentionally put loopholes in there such that a neighborhood that was adjacent to a distressed area could be very, very affluent, would qualify for opportunity zone funding too. And so what you have is like the rushing of rich people to shelter their investments, and so distressed neighborhoods like in West and East Baltimore, they were supposed to be getting funding from this, had to compete with affluent white neighborhoods where they're building the luxury development they want to build. It's a travesty. So there's an example of opportunity hoarding.
Well, white capitalists are always going to find ways to exploit the hood, right? Like this has been the case time and time and time again. But what's most pernicious about so much, about everything actually that you laid out with the kind of three key issues, the surveillance, the hoarding of opportunity, and certainly the segregation, is that those things have been federal government sanctioned and defined, right? Redlining, just the entire creation in the New Deal around who was going to be able to get home ownership support and be able to buy houses and get government-backed loans and who wasn't, all aided and abetted what we see. So I'm curious what your political take is on, or at least maybe some of the policy solutions you would offer to be able to get to that structural racism that has been built in and baked in from the governmental side of all this, because we know capitalists are going to capitalist, right? Like that's what they're going to do. Right. And that's a whole conversation that we need to talk about, right? This is, I mean, it is, there's two forces at play right now, and it seems that what we can most hold accountable, at least, is the governmental sector aspect of this. So what are your thoughts about the Fed's role and what they should be doing?
Right. Wonderful question. The final chapter of my book is called Abolition and Repair. The beauty of understanding these current, present, government-sponsored anti-Black processes is once you understand them, that how they're operating, it points the way forward. You have to do the opposite. So greenlining of historically defunded Black neighborhoods rather than disinvestment. They should be first in line for any new infrastructure dollars or community development dollars, right? And we know exactly where those neighborhoods are. You just go back and look at the maps from the 1930s, right? Inclusion rather than segregation, right? I feature some cities that have mandatory inclusionary zoning. So developers, whatever they're building, have to include some units that very low income people can live in, right? So that we're building an inclusive society that brings opportunity to all. And then surveillance. We need to change the lens in which we see Black people, from presumed thug to presumed citizen. And once you're able to apply a lens of care and seeing Black people as three-dimensional human beings who are worthy of inclusion, of investment, who are capable of being agents in their own liberation, it frees you up to focus on evidence-based strategies that help rather than harm people. And I give examples of that. Peacemaker fellowships to help troubled youth who are involved in gun violence, rather than just stopping and frisking everybody and trying to incarcerate your way out of problems in inner cities. That's a primary example.
Well, I got to tell you, these issues are so weighty and so heavy that how we're going to solve them is the entire conversation of what we have here on Amplify. But I am so excited about your book and appreciate you breaking down this entire residential segregation, just hot mess, as I call it, that we continue to experience the conundrum here in America. Sheryll Cashin, thank you so much, Professor, for being with us. Appreciate you and all of your insights.
Thank you. I so appreciate you and what you're doing.